If you've ever struggled with wanting to be somebody else, or maybe that you see somebody, I just wish that I had that specific characteristic. I wish I was more like them in that area. If those thoughts have ever come through your mind or out of your mouth, then this episode's for you. This is the Enjoy Life podcast. If you feel overwhelmed or stuck and you want to break free so that you can find your power to take action to achieve your goals and enjoy life, then you're in the right place. Welcome, my friend. I am glad that you're here. My name is Nick Mazie, and it's my desire to be your guide through this material so that you can choose your mindset, goals, and actions so you can guide your life to go in the direction that you want to go and enjoy it. Now let's dive right in. Hello, and welcome to episode 164 of Enjoy Life. As I mentioned in the very beginning, today we're going to be talking about when that thought or that desire creeps up of wanting to be somebody else, and a little bit of what to do with it, as well as just the main message, the main thing. I really probably shouldn't just give this away at the beginning, but whatever, I'm going to go ahead and do it. The main point is that you are enough. You know, struggling with wanting to be somebody else or looking at somebody, say, I wish I was like them in a particular area. That is something that many people struggle with, and myself included. I'm definitely included in that group. So this is a message for you. It's a message for me. It's a message for a lot of us. But before I really dive into the full episode, just a quick reminder. I did mention it last week, and I was kind of building up to it for quite a while. And it was that big announcement I think it's a big announcement. And I wanted to create something that can help you to conquer some of that overwhelm that you might be feeling. And also to help you just to get unstuck so that you can take action and make progress toward what you want. And so in order to help you do that a little bit more, I created a short video series that will, in my opinion, help you do exactly that. So all you have to do is go to claimmypower.me and get access to it right now. Let's dive into today's episode. Today we're talking about that feeling that sometimes comes up of wanting to be somebody else because we see somebody else doing what we want to do, living the life that we want to live, and then this thought of I want to be like that person. I wish I could be like that person comes up. And this happens to me too. This happens to me too, where I see somebody else doing what I want to do and living the life that I think I want to live, and I wish I could be like that person. So, but let me tell you, this is like the core truth of this episode is that achieving your goals and enjoying life is not about becoming someone else. It's not about becoming somebody else. If you have the desire in you to do something, then the things that you want to do, who you want to be, act like the life you want to live, those things are already inside of you. If you see somebody that maybe they are always eating healthy and exercising, and you're like, man, I just want to be like that person. If you see that, you see this person exercising, eating healthy, and just being healthy with energy, and you say, I want that. Well, then if that desire is already inside of you, then you have the capability inside of you to do those things. And it's all about doing those small things that can get you moving toward your goal. But what's really deceptive is that when we see people that are living this good life and that have, like I said, the things that we want to have or doing the things we want to do, a lot of times we don't see all the work that they put into it. We don't see all those really small steps they took leading up to the place that they're at right now. So instead of envying where they're at, because we can't do anything with envy, and it's just going to make things a whole lot worse. It's going to make us not even appreciate the things that we do have. Being envious of other people. Instead of that, if we focus on doing the small things that we can do, that are within our capabilities to do right now, those small things that we can do right now from where we're at, then we can start making a little bit of progress and moving toward the goals that we have. Before you know it, when you take those tiny little simple small steps, when you take those, you make a little bit of progress. And then you make a little bit of more progress. And as long as you repeat taking those tiny little steps that are within your capability, what you can do, then before you know it, you're going to be guiding your life to go in the direction that you want it to go. Now, last week I used this example, and I think I used my example up because I was really planning on using it for this episode. But last week we were talking about the words you tell yourself and self-talk, this is a little example. It really applies to today's topic too, and it's thinking of that small little creek, a little trickle of water passing through the woods. And that if that little creek keeps flowing and flowing and goes in the same direction, if it's persistent and keeps on just going in that direction, then it will cut further and further into the ground. And before you know it, it's going to be a deep ravine. Well, before you know it, it's going to be a long time. But it's that consistent effort that helps it to become more and more established. Now, that water was always there. Maybe it started off really small. But over time, because it's persistent and is continuing to go in that direction, then it gets more and more established so that it's deeply cut into the ground. And that's what I want. I want you to think about this whole, guiding your life to go in the direction that you want it to go. It's not that instantaneous, massive movement that you're going to do. It's not those large leaps. It's those tiny, simple, small steps that you can do that are within your capability and your power to do. You start there. And then those little things repeated over time make a huge difference. It makes an enormous difference in your life. So we're going to jump back to the example, or that little thought of seeing somebody that's always eating just the perfect diet, exercising all the time, has tons of energy, all that great stuff. Think about them. And if you want to improve your health, it's not about jumping in and I want to be that person. No, you do what you can do. Because if you have the desire in you to improve your health, then you have the capability to do something. Maybe not running 10 miles like that other person runs. No, forget them. But maybe you could go for a short walk, get a little bit of fresh air and a little bit of movement. So you can start where you're at. And it's that small step, whatever that small step is for you, that you can do, you have that in you. And then you repeat and you keep at it. And before you know it, it's going to be a habit. And that's where the real power pays off. The real power pays off is when you develop those small little habits. All right, so I'm going to tell myself a little bit here. In case you haven't heard me mention this before, I'm sitting here talking about, wanting to, be like that person that's really healthy. So let me tell you, I might have some of that drive and desire in me to be healthy, improve my health, and have more energy and all that good stuff. But you know what I also have? It's in me. I have a strong, burning desire almost to eat pizza and take out Chinese food. I love it. And so when we're talking about being healthy, for me, I know that I got the desire to be healthy in me, and I also know that in me I have the desire to eat a whole lot of food that I should not eat. And so I have to do those small, simple habits that guide my life to go in the direction that I want it to go. It's not about me saying that one's right and one's wrong, or that I have to be somebody else. No, I just have to feed the side that's going to go in the direction that I want my life to go. So I got to feed those healthy, small, simple habits that I can do for my life. And that's the major difference maker. Because I'm not going to be somebody else, but I'm going to intentionally do those small things that are within my capabilities to do. If you've been around this podcast for a while, then you know some of my just really simple steps for my health is, I try to bring my lunch when I go to work, and I try to get a little exercise at the gym on most of my lunch breaks. Those simple things are the easier ones for me. Now, the easy steps and small steps for you and your goals might be different. Of course, they probably are. But you have it in you to do those small things. Forget about being somebody else. You be you. You be you. It's those drives and the desires and the things that you want for your life. What are the smallest, tiniest actions that you can take that are relatively easy for you to take? Simple ones, simple ones. What are those steps that you can take towards your goal? So whatever's the easiest and simplest things for you to do to start off with is how you're going to get that ball rolling forward. You're going to develop a little bit of momentum, and then you'll see that you do have it in you, that you are enough to achieve what you want. You just got to start where you're at, and you got to start. And then you can do it. Because tiny step by tiny step, you can guide your life to go in the direction that you want it to go. It's not an instantaneous, miraculous change. But I tell you what, when you start and you keep taking those steps and you see that you're making some progress, ooh, wow, that is powerful. It is energizing, and it is kind of miraculous. It's not instantaneous, but it is miraculous, because then you figure out that you can do it. And that is a powerful place to be, my friend. That is a powerful place to be. Just want to remind you, you are enough for what you want. You do not have to be somebody else. You just got to start from where you're at. Take a small step toward what you want and repeat, because you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. I want to help. And if you would like a little bit more help to be able to conquer some of that overwhelm, get unstuck, maybe take some steps towards your goals, and just really get on starting to move forward toward the life that you want. You don't want to miss out on this intro video series to doing exactly that. Just go to claimmypower.me and get access to it today. Start today. All right. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I'm glad you're here joining in, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon. And if you enjoyed this episode, you got some value out of it, or know somebody that you think specifically that this message could benefit them, make sure you share it. You can share it with them directly. You can send them to nickmazy.com. Just tell them to search for episode 164. Or you can just rate and review the podcast on wherever you're listening to this podcast episode. I really appreciate all of y'all that have been doing this. I see more and more people are getting access to it, and that just thrills me, because it means that the message is sharing and spreading, and want to impact as many lives as possible. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes yourself.